Well, it's Guns, Knives, and Watches, and this is another one of those videos about the backpack. Now here's the deal. You have to understand, this is the cornerstone of my life. This backpack is the cornerstone of my life. I don't go anywhere without it in the car. Do I carry it? No. Never. Except where I carry it from the car into the hotel room. Or I carry it, da-da-da-da-da. But here's what I've basically done. And this is basically not so much what's in the pack, because I've gone over that in various videos, this, there, or the other. This is the concept of the pack itself and how people address the pack. Because I had a really, really good comment on a video. And the guy goes, I've done this 30 years, and the content's solid. Well, I hope that it is. But it takes a lot of experience to recognize whether what is content and what is bullshit on my channel. Because anyone knows that's watched me for years, I don't want a bunch of subscribers. I don't want this, that, or the other. If I just had 100 subscribers that were pretty solid, I'd be cool with that. And that's real shit. Because it's not about getting high numbers. It's not about making a lot of money on AdSense. It's not about, da-da-da-da-da. But here's where we're going to get back to this. Here's something else I hear all the time when they're talking about bags and this, that, or the other. And this is not a bug out bag unless you're going to the Four Seasons. Or you're going to a hotel, or you're going something this, that, or the other, because it's very light on shelter. It's only emergency shelter. So we're not going hanging out in the woods, this, that, or the other, da-da-da-da-da, because we live in, civilization, okay? We don't live out in the fucking boondocks. We don't live this, that, or the other. We aren't out in the swamps of Louisiana. I'm in Bowling Green, Kentucky, very urban environment. And that's just really the reality of it. We make all the Corvettes here. People say, build these packs, put them away, don't ever touch them. Anybody who tells you that is going to get you killed. And they're not only going to get you killed around the backpack, they're going to get you killed around everything else. Because the concept is, if you buy a gun, what are you going to do? Well, buy that gun, put it in the drawer. You're an expert at shooting it. You're an expert with that weapon because you own it. Bullshit. My deal with the pack is use it all the time. Use it every chance you get. Use it every day that you can. And I'm going to tell you, that's why this pack is outfitted the way it is. Yeah, it's got a lot of crazy ass shit in it. But it's got power cords. And I changed one of them from a 2-foot to a 3-foot just because of convenience issues with our Samsung Galaxies. And we're having really good luck with our Samsung Galaxies, by the way. They're made in South Korea, not made in China, da-da-da-da-da. And we, of course, have the Actives. And it's got things like, a compass. How often are you going to use this? And I really particularly don't like this compass. This is a K&R compass I bought after watching some Dave Canterbury bullshit. And Dave is a cool guy, but in reality, who in the fuck gets a compass and recommends a compass that can't operate at night? Doesn't have any luminous features in it. And I know it's white with black, and there's good contrast in this, there, or the other, and da-da-da-da-da. And it has a lot of good attributes. Good magnifying glass. It's got a mirror in case you poke something in your eye or want to pop a zit or something. But damn, folks, this thing can't operate in the dark. So you can't really charge it, or maybe mine just doesn't work. I don't know, but who the hell does that? Maybe a MP in the military, because that's what Dave did. He wasn't out in the fucking field doing any type of real work. So, to him, luminosity in a fucking compass isn't a big deal. And he's bedding down at night instead of trying to get the shit out of Dodge or do your fucking job. So, to him, this shit makes sense. To me, not so much. But I carry it just to remind myself that don't listen to a fucking MP. Seriously. If that is your major thing, and Mrs. Guns and I watch his dad was an MP, and that's cool, but I don't ask him how to survive out in the woods. But I do ask him to do all kinds of other shit. And the shit that you're trained for is what you know, folks. But he's getting better, I hope. Of course, we got compasses. I mean, we got whistles. We've got our batteries, and these are in loops. In orange, of course, because we're dealing with nighttime operations. Shit never fails usually during, opportune time. It's not raining outside, it's daylight, and the world's a great place, and you get in the middle of emergency. Sewing kit, awesome to have. Couple different threads. Of course, we've got black thread, we've got tan thread, we've got white thread. Awesome. Couple needles, some other shit. It's just the way it works, man. Anybody, and I'm going to say this over and over and over, and of course we've got extra lock sacks which are keeping that folding down. And we've got our lock pick sets. Basically, anybody knows, this is the standard setup for a Bogatas. Put a spring around them, keeps them together when you have to stick them up your ass or something to hide them, because this is search and evade, whatever. Who gives a shit, really? And then you've got some other titanium shit. And I always buy them in titanium because they have low magnetic signature. We've got some handcuff keys. We've got a paper clip, and I'm not going to tell you what the paper clip's for. Sure as hell ain't for clipping paper. Got ass wipes, of course. We've changed over, of course, to the double A's, this, there, the other. Well, Chink, you keep going through this shit, man. Man, you keep changing knives in this pack like nobody's business. I went back to the Benchmade 940 Osborne instead of the Cold Steel. Now, is the Cold Steel knife rock ass solid? Oh, hell yes. It is a solid knife, man. But I'm a finesse guy. I'm also a covert guy. I know the pack is green, this, there, the other. Doesn't have any molly on it. But, when I'm questioning the pack search, this, there, the other, I don't want to have too much military shit. Plus, I'm a finesse guy. 3 ounces, 940 Osborne. Not only that, this S30V steel. And I carry a 600 grit little pole, and I'm like really far from this pack, and I'm really hugging that there camera, boy. I've got that there 600 easy lap diamond sharpener with aluminum handle, of course. Don't ever buy the one that has the brass handle. And that is perfect for sharpening S30V to a really good sharpness. It's of course really coarse, but it makes S30V very sharp. Very quickly. Of course, you got to break it in, Of course, we got pins, suntan lotion, because I operate a lot in the sun, and of course, this is the Sawyer SPF 30. Don't get the 50; it sucks. But here's another reason I kind of went lighter on my knife. Because as I went through the videos before, this is the Leatherman. And I added, of course, another bit set. These are all Allen wrenches and stars. Allen wrenches of different size, standard and metric. So we're good. And of course I put my clip on it just because I want some retention in case I have to just toss stuff out. That's the way it works. So anyway, love this. Any fucking way, man. But anybody that tells you not to use this shit, put it up, build a bag, put it up, is a moron. I mean, straight up hardcore. How do you train with something? How do you know where something is in a pack? How do you get the familiarity with it if you don't use it all the time? And of course, this is my solar setup. Would I recommend this setup? Yeah, but it's fucking expensive and you're supporting a bunch of Mormons. The Nomad 13 solar panel. They've got some 14 watt ones out there right now that you can buy that have a battery, this, there, the other. And this gets me about, with this double A setup with the Gold Zero Guide 10 Plus, this gets me about half a charge on my Samsung, and you know that's cool. It's an extender, not just a really whatever. And you can put that thing on low power mode and make it last for a long time. But charges those batteries about half. But you know, of course, we got our Gore-Tex and we got our gloves, which we go back to the covert thing. And you know, your first aid kit, man. My first aid kit is heavy and all kinds of shit. Hey, it's got Colgate toothpaste, man. Yeah, man, just that non-whitening stuff, because it has a lot of purpose, a lot of uses. It's got fingernail clippers, toenail clippers. It's got tweezers. It's got tape. It's got moleskin. It's got pads. It's got an extra toothbrush. It's got stuff that I actually use, okay, when I'm operating with this pack. Because I live in the real world, not some fantasy land bullshit where Mad Max is going to take over and and this, there, the other, and I want to become Mad Max because I saw the movie and it looks really cool. Of course, I've got, believe it or not, my small survival kit, which basically takes everything in this pack and makes it smaller. It's got fire. It's got some type of shelter. It's got, of course, you know, the box and and all the other crap. And it's got a red carabiner on it. Why? Because it's emergency. I want to be able to see it. Of course, it's got a hat and it's Disney. Why? Because we're low profile. We're not high profiling it. We ain't, you know, we trying to style it, buddy. Of course, we've got in here like there's a towel. Why? Because I run out of them all the time when I'm in hotel rooms. And this is just a Outgo GS from McNett. He fucking, yeah, man. And this is a large. Why? Because it works. And it's small, and it can be used for all different kinds of things. And it rocks. McNett makes some really cool shit. And of course, we've got our kit. We've got our water system, which is a Sawyer Mini, not a Sawyer, which is a Sawyer Squeeze, not a Mini, with our cap on it. Okay, real shit. And that cap's off of whatever bottle, man. And we've got our other stuff. We've got our saw. We've got our, you know, shit. And believe it or not, I was cutting baguettes with this thing, man. Anybody ever cut baguettes before? This thing's sharp as hell. But anyway, and this is the more bushcraft, whatever the fuck it is, not with that gay shit on it. And of course, we've got our Baco Laplander, and we've got some string thing, some stakes, and these, of course, are the very best stakes in the world. And these are the old version. These are the MSRs. And we got our Optimus spoon. And then we've also got probably another titanium spoon in here, which has a fork on it, which is from Light My Fire, man. But this one is really nice from Optimus, because it has a polished titanium end on it. And that's the way it works. Fucking hate this, man. But I'm just going through this for the newbies. And of course, I got a 40 ounce clean canteen. Is it the best canteen out there? No, but it's 40 ounces. It's better than 32. You just have to remember, if you're using chemical sterilization instead of fire. And of course it has not been heated or anything. Hadn't been dropped either. Wow, that's awesome. And of course it's got food in it. See that? Wide mouth food storage. That way that stuff doesn't get destroyed. And I know those are only granola bars, but hey, when you're out, that's all you need. That's all I need. I need something quick. And of course then we've got our food kit. And of course this is all titanium shit, and this, there, the other, and da 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 da. And what have I done to my titanium shit to make it a little more efficient? I drilled a hole in my lid so that when water boils, it does not pop the lid off of my titanium deal, man. And of course I changed up some bandanas and all that kind of crap. These are the big ones, cotton ones. They're some for bikers or something, so you know, that way blend in. You know, you're gonna have a bandana at least look like biker trash, because you know that's what we are. So anyway, those are kind of some philosophies. This is some shit, just a little small peek at some gear. But the reality of it is, you have to use your bag, because you have to adapt this bag for your environment. No two environments are the same. And do I have a tarp? Yeah, I do, right here. Okay, it's just a SOL, da 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 da. Do I have, you know, a real trash bag that's whatever the hell, that thick commercial bag liners? Yeah. Do I have a small one that I use for basically laundry or whatever all the time? Yeah. Why don't I have two of the big ones? Because they're fucking big and heavy, man. Can this be a raincoat? Can it be a lot of different things? Can it be a temporary roof of shelter? Yeah. It's a big commercial 50-gallon trash bag liner. They're fucking heavy. I mean, they really are. So anyway, so I carry one of this, that, or the other. Do I have a gun in here? No, I do not, because I carry a gun in my glove box. But what I do have in here, and I'm hugging, I'm trying not to bump, is I have two magazines. One for where I want to take my HK and conceal it more. This one only has 8 rounds. This one, of course, has 10, 45 caliber, because I don't want to. I want to open up as big a hole as I possibly can in something if I'm going to bother to shoot it. And da 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 da. So this is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and this is just some shit. And anyone who tells you to build this shit and put it away and never use it possibly doesn't know what the hell they're doing and have never trained. So my advice to you is, take a lot of what they say with a grain of salt. Like I said, Guns, Knives, and Watches is not for the masses. That's why it's presented the way it is. I want people off my fucking channel. I want very few people on it. There's a bunch of friends of mine that are on here that never say a word, and I'm cool with that. And we're just kind of down like that. There are people that comment all the time, da 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 da. But this one person who sat there and said, you know, I've done this for 30 years, the content's solid. It takes that much time. It takes a lot of time to be around this type of stuff, and to be, you know, and plus you got to get training somewhere. You got to get life somewhere. Anybody that tells you to build this shit and put it up, it's going to get you killed. This is Guns, Knives, and Watches. Have a good one.